Hello, welcome to the Roy Rogers News Channel. Thank you so much for watching. Alright, today we are going to dive into the PokeDex PokeMMO version and the Egg Move Index PokeMMO version as well. And I should note that the reason why I'm doing both of these guides at the exact same video is due to the fact that both of them have a PokeDex element in them. Now, before I dive into the tutorial of how to use these guides, I should note that if you look at the bottom of this video where the red line is, that shows you the time left, you can be able to fast forward to whichever chapter you would like. So if you want to fast forward to the Pokedex tutorial, you can be able to fast forward to that, or the Egg Move Index, you can be able to fast forward to that as well. Alright, so I thought I should note that, and I would like to give guide credits as well. So I would like to thank Lizenor and Yabu for trying to help me with the Pokedex guide. Number 63 Abra was giving me quite a bit of trouble as of the time of this taping. I had to split the Pokemon data into sets of 25 per post with certain exceptions. And I can get to why that is significant a little later once I go into the Pokedex tutorial. I would also like to thank Deviluke for clearing up the guide's extra posts and Secret Jin for moving this guide into the Guide Tavern. And I would also like to thank Secret Jin for moving the Egg Move Index into the Guide Tavern as well. I would also like to thank Reiners for your contributing to the Burmy and Wormadam Wild Location and Evolution line. And I would also like to thank Julius March for showing me the mobile Find in Page feature for mobile devices. If you are carrying around a mobile device, just look at the 3 dots at the top right of this forms post and just click on that and then click on Find in Page. Alright, and I should also give credits to Reeves for the graphic for the Magnezone and Nosepass evolution locations for the magnetic areas. And he also made the graphic for the Leafeon and Glaceon evolution locations as well. So I'd like to thank Reeves for doing that. And I would also like to thank Teddy and Demonic Dax for making the graphic for the starter Pokemon locations as well. So I would like to thank everybody for your part in the Pokedex guide. And I would also like to thank, for the Egg Move Index, Blue Nose, Yubu, XBWYMSL, and Dory Bow for making the Egg Move to a website. Now, as a note, before I dive into the Egg Move and the Pokedex tutorials, I should note that Blue Nose for a brief period of time has shut down the website for English audiences. So I PM'd Blue Nose and we did a lot of heavy negotiation, and I was able to make the Egg Move Index, and Blue Nose gave me the Egg Move chains. He restored that functionality to his website. However, I negotiated a little further, and Blue Nose wants to keep the English section of his website as well, because he sees the significance in having the English section of the Egg Move chain. So I'd like to thank Blue Nose for not only allowing me to use his information to make the Egg Move Index guide, but also like to thank him for restoring the English section of the website. So thank you so much, Blue Nose. And if you prefer the formatting of the Egg Moves, you can be able to use my guide, or if you prefer the website that Blue Nose has, you can be able to use that as well. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the Pokedex PokeMMO version guide right now. So let's go ahead and see what we have in store. Now, this is for the Control F feature, so feel free to copy and paste that Egg Move. We can do that a little later. I want to go over to the basic information here, so quick starter location index. Just in case you don't want to scroll through my Pokedex guide, you can be able to see the starter graphic right there. So feel free to check that out. And you can also be able to go to the Johto starter locations. Now, I went ahead and I labeled where the areas are. So Chikorita, you can find at Area 5 in the grass. Cyndaquil, you can find at Area 6 in the grass. And Totodile, you can find at Area 5 in the water. And this is at the Hoenn Safari Zone. I should note that. After you complete the Elite Four, Area 5 and Area 6 are accessible. The story mode Elite Four, I should say. Alright, let's go ahead and go over to the magnetic field right there. Alright. And you can be able to go to the mossy or icy rock locations as well. For Glaceon or Leafeon. Let's go ahead and go over to the guide key, shall we? So, these icons you should see by the Pokemon, and you'll be able to take a look at that. And I should note that the reason why I don't have Safari Balls for Sinnoh is due to the fact that I wanted to separate the Kanto and Hoenn Safari Zone from the Sinnoh Great Marsh, so that's why I have the grassy envelope to separate the two. Alright, so this is how you get the coin case. Now, if you want more information about the coin cases and how to get them and such, I went ahead and I provided a link here that is the Coin and Battle Point Exchange Rate Guide right there. So you'll be able to click on that link if you would like. Alright. And these are all the NPC trades you can do. Alright. And here is a basic guide key of what you need to know about how moves are labeled. I would like to thank Mighty Boxer for the Phenomena locations, just in case you would like to scout for Phenomena. Alright, so without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the guide, shall we? Before you dive into the Pokemon Index, I should note that due to the post constraints, I had to make 25 Pokemon per post. So that means that I had to make 2 pages. So let's go and duplicate this. And this is the only guide to my knowledge that required 2 pages. So I don't want to make history again, so I tried to do what I can with the Egg Move Index to not require 2 pages. So that is why I did not want to do as much graphics as I did for the PokeDex guide. Alright, so you have the 2 pages up. Now, this is where the fun starts. Let's just say you want to complete your Pokedex, but you don't know what the Pokemon is called, but you know what the number is, and you know its silhouette, right? So what you can do is you can be able to do Control F, right? And let's just say you want to complete Dex number, or let's just say you want to find Pokemon number 420. So let's go and type in 420 here. And 420 is going to be Cherubi. Alright. And you can be able to find Cherubi at a honey tree. Now I went ahead and I did a honey tree guide, which I linked in the guide key there. So every time you see a honey jar, that means that you have to rub honey on a tree. So it should be noted there. Now, let's just say you want to find the egg group, right? So you can do, let's just say you're doing a breeding project. You can be able to go up here, right? And you can be able to type in the egg group humanoid, right? Or even better, you can even scroll up here and you can just copy and paste humanoid right here, so you don't have to do much typing, right? You do copy and then you paste there, and there you go. And you should be warped directly to humanoid. And here's the best thing about this. You're able to do Control F here, and there you go. You can be able to see the humanoids in the second page. And this is a tool you can mess around with and see which humanoid you would like to breed up with. So feel free to check that out. And before I move on to the egg move index, and you can dive to the egg move index without having to pull up another tab, you can click on the egg move index right over here. Or if you're on the second page, I thought of that, you can be able to go over here. And you'll be able to go to the egg move index from there. All right. Now let's go ahead and move the egg move index right here, shall we? So I hope you enjoyed the comic. And I tried to make a female Conkeldurr. It was really hard to do, so I just put a wig on it. But you're not here for my sense of humor. You're here for the guide. So let's go ahead and search up what we can do with the guide. Now, for the guide key, I did not want the egg group to be obtained by your Control F feature, so I decided to make a dummy egg group to be able to satisfy the guide key so you can see what's going on. And I went ahead and I made things in bold so you can see how things are outlined. And then if there's a Smeargle chain, I went ahead and I put up a 3D model of Smeargle, and then I also put a picture and a bold Smeargle text. Now, there was a bit of a sacrifice. I wanted to do pictures for not just Smeargle, but for every single Pokemon. So I wanted to do a picture for that one and for that one as well. But due to the post constraints, I couldn't do that because I would have to split up the Pokemon into probably sets into 50 sets or 25 sets. And I don't want to make history again by having to require 2 pages. So that is why I went ahead and I did some graphical sacrifices, but I'm sure that you know what egg chains are readily available. And just in case you're looking at this egg chain and maybe you're saying, I don't know what a Togetic looks like. Well, what you can do is Control F, right? And you can be able to just go down here and you can see Togetic looks like that. So just in case you want to know what Togetic looks like, now you know. So I went ahead and I had these official arrows. I also did this in the PokeDex guide as well for easier visual use. And also I have the exact same functionality here with the search engine. So let's just say you want humanoid, right? So you have the humanoid breeders. Now, I should note that for the sake of keeping the guide as condensed as possible, I went ahead and I included the pre-evolutions that are past the generation of that Pokemon, so I don't have to relist it all over again. So let's just say, we have Smoochum here. Smoochum is a Generation 2 Pokemon technically, but I have it listed as Generation 1 because I don't want to list it again. So if you want to breed a Jinx, this is how you do it, right? And these are the egg moves that you can put on Jinx. Or you can go ahead and do it on Pinsir, right here. And the evolutions, I went ahead and I listed them as well. So yeah, you might notice in these other generations, especially Generation 4, you might have noticed that Generation 4 is a little bit more empty than usual. But that's because I didn't want to list the Pokemon over again for the sake of your convenience. So I thought it should be noted there. Alright. And before I sign off, I should note that the National Pokedex numbers are in the parentheses. So let's just say you want to know what 400 is, right? Number 400 is Barrel, and it is in the parentheses right there. So you can be able to check the National Pokedex number right by the official number. And the reason why I want to do an official number is so that way you can see what line you're at, so you can be able to relocate. It's like, oh, well, I want to go breed Spinda, and Spinda is line number 155, and let's just say you want to eyeball it. So you can go over to line number 199 and find Lopunny, right? It's like, alright, I want to relocate Spinda, and I don't want to do the Control F feature, so I can be able to relocate Spinda right here, because it's line 155. That's why I did the numerical order there. Alright, and if there's any questions that you have about the guides, then feel free to ask them in the comments section below. I'd really love to hear your feedback as to how you feel about these guys. And thank you so much for your time. And before I sign off, I should give a full disclosure as to why I use this example. So back in high school, when I got bored with my teacher doing his or her lecture, I kid you not, I would put two pens together and I would think, man, I wonder what it'd be like if these two pens had a baby. I know that's kind of a boring question, but this is kind of a remnant of my high school days. I thought you would enjoy that little story there. Thank you so much for watching. This is the Roy Rogers News Channel. Don't forget to comment and subscribe to the channel, like the content that you see here. And I'm so glad to be back on PokeMMO. I was gone for weeks working on this Egg Move Index. Man, I am so glad to be a player again. This is the Roy Rogers News Channel signing off. Fast, accurate, unbiased, Roy Rogers News.